This may be uncomfortable for some of you, but even during a pandemic or a disaster or your own personal struggles, we can still find humor in the darkness. So tonight, I hope to show you where the comedy is in all of this. And if you're still offended, well, we've already got your money. All right. Gallows humor or dark humor is defined as humor that makes fun of a life-threatening, disastrous, or a terrifying situation. Gallows humor was coined by the Germans in the mid-1800s and was considered to be an expression of resilience and hope. Gallows humor is from the perspective of the victim. So this is Chaplin's film, The Great Dictator. Humor was also used as an act of resistance. Telling jokes and mocking the Nazis could lead to time in a concentration camp or death. So in a nutshell, this is the history of my Jewish people. They tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat. This is funny because the photos create this weird tension between what we expect and what we see. Just as the punchline of a joke defies our expectations, so is the absurdity of death and suffering. Hopscotch, anyone? I don't think so. Ever heard of the phrase, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? The origin is kind of fuzzy, but I think we can all agree that no one actually really said that to her, but it is a great example of dark humor. And I think Lincoln's getting vaped from behind. Humor is tragedy plus time, often credited to Mark Twain. Some of us are just at the tragedy part, right? So when is too soon? A week, a month, a year? That's totally up to you. For instance, what do you get when you cross the Atlantic with the Titanic? The answer is about halfway. Thank you. Too soon? This is a scene from Monty Python's Life of Brian. Most people today say it's a classic satire of idol worship and religion. Others see it as a serious attack on their beliefs. This is a scene where the crucified are singing the song, "Always Look on the Bright Side of Life." So for 10 years, I was an editorial artist at the Orlando Sentinel. You're constantly on deadline. The pressure is so high, you become numb. We had an editor who was always looking for the local angle to any story. One time, a jet plane went down, crashing everybody, killing everyone, and he said, "Did any of them go to University of Florida?" So in 1981, the country watched on live TV when President Reagan got shot, and he said to Nancy, "Honey, I forgot to duck." And he said to his doctors, "Please tell me you're Republicans." I mean, that's pretty funny considering what just happened to the guy. Police and medical professionals are often using dark humor when discussing their work with others. It may sound really offensive to us outsiders, but it can be a way to put some distance between themselves and the job. Imagine how it must feel to be a cop, knowing you may not come home from work that day. So how's your pandemic going, everybody? Good? I'm loving it. I really am. I'm not wearing makeup anymore. It's called COVID-19 because I've gained 19 pounds. That's why it's calling that. But I am saving a lot of money on makeup. So by laughing at this, whatever this is, I'm coping with how horrible the last 18 months have been for all of us and the world. Making fun of coronavirus is all we have right now. Well, that and, of course, the vaccine. But by making fun of COVID, it allows me to win, and I need that, right? Here are some famous anti-vaxxers who are now anti-alive. Today, when one of these non-believers in the vaccine announced that they've contracted COVID, does anyone smile just a little bit when they... Yeah, me neither. Okay. Some people have always been afraid of vaccinations, and by the looks of this engraving, in the late 1800s, the vaccines were given by really, really, really large snakes. And the guy in the back, the skinny guy, is waiting for Godot. Blink twice if you're hungry. Today's editorial cartoonists have no problem coming up with ideas with all of this. Bad information is the theme for this one, drawn by the wonderful Mike Lukovic from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. That's right, funny stuff. Ivermectin, ivermectin. It's called thinning the herd for a good reason. If there's a picture of a horse or a sheep or a pig, don't take it, for crying out loud, people. I have to laugh at this because some people would rather make a bad choice than a good one. Seriously, y'all, stop it. How many of you bought stock in Pfizer? I did. I bought it last year at $37 a share, and woohoo, it went right up. You know the little glass bottles it comes in. Who makes those? Look it up. Buy stock in that company. Am I wrong for doing that? I don't think so. This is me getting behind the cure. Join me, okay? Did you hear about the nurse who died and went to hell? It took her 2 weeks to figure out that she was no longer at work. A nurse, a doctor, and an anti-vaxxer walk into a bar. The nurse says to the bartender, "I'll have a whiskey." The doctor says, "I'll have a tequila." And the anti-vaxxer says, "No shots for me." Thank you. Thank you. Are we going back to hoarding toilet paper? God, I hope not. But apparently, some people would rather fight to the death on an airplane than wear a mask. Now, wouldn't it be great if the flight attendant could just push a button and a trap door would open underneath this jackass right here? Bye-bye, Karen. Finally, we will get through this. You know why? Because laughter is the best medicine, but so is the vaccine. Please, if you're eligible, if you can, please get vaccinated. I'm begging you. Please, please, please. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the show.